Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to Enriched Lives, where you're worthy, you're blessed, and you are a creator. That's right. You're worthy, you're blessed, and you are a creator. Hello, I'm Brother Charles, and I'm your host, and we have another fantastic topic for discussion today. But before we do that, before we get into that discussion, let me say this to you. If today is the day that you arrived upon the planet, happy birthday to you. That's right. Happy birthday to you, my friend. Why? Because God didn't make no jump. You are somebody, okay? We know that. You should know that too. In case you didn't know it, I just stopped by to tell you. You are somebody. And if this is the day that you arrived upon the planet, happy birthday to you, my friend. Happy birthday. That's right. You are somebody. You know, you deserve the best. You deserve the best. Good things are happening for you. Good things are happening to you. Good things are happening all around you. Open up your eyes and see them, my friends. Stop being your own enemy. Most people are their own enemies because of what they are saying about themselves. That's why we say, look, let that stuff go. Let all that negativity about, well, I should have done this and I should have done that. Let all that go, my friends. You're bigger than that. You're bigger than that. So we have another important discussion topic for discussion today, and today is letting go. That's our topic for today. Letting go. That's right. Letting go. You see, when you let something go, you enter into freedom. You're no longer bound by it. You're letting it go. So, in the scripture that we're going to use, I do personally believe that this scripture is kind of like one of those one size fits all. Those scriptures. This particular scripture here is that type of scripture. Romans 12 and 2. It says, "Be not conformed to the world, but be ye renewed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable will of God." Now, be not conformed to this world. Be not conformed, but be ye renewed by the renewing of your mind. It's very interesting. See, it doesn't make a difference what I don't care what it is that you're dealing with until that mind is changed, until you change the way you're thinking. Nothing's going to change in your life, my friend. So our particular topic for today is letting go. Letting go. So in order for you to let go of something, you have to first understand what it is that you're going to let it go. You have to understand the fact that whether or not it's beneficial or detrimental to you. So we believe that once you have the knowledge to know what's good and what's bad for you, that you are strong enough to walk away from it. Walk away from things that are not good for you, my friends. Walk away from relationships that are not good for you. Walk away from jobs that are not good for them. See, the only reason most people stay tied up in different situations that aren't good for them is because of the number one cause of lack of movement, and that is fear. That is fear. Fear has so many ways that it appears to people. I mean, fear appears in different forms and different settings and everything, but fear is fear. That's the only people not going to do anything. You see individuals get caught up in relationships and they're staying there because they are afraid. They won't break out of them. You see people on jobs that they don't like, but they're staying there why? Because they are afraid. Well, I can't do any better. So this is the type of thing that is so intriguing. You have to learn to let stuff go. Let it go. Let things go, my friends, and move on, see? Because if you don't let go of whatever it is that's holding you back, you will forever be in bondage to that particular thing. So letting go is very instrumental and very important in our lives. So there are going to come times when we're going to come up and make decisions. Hey, I got to let this go. I can't continue on this manner of life, so therefore I'm going to let it go. Now, we're going to share a few stories with you about individuals that let some things go, let go of certain things, especially in terms of how it was, whether or not it was going to be beneficial to them. So they let them go. They let them go. There's a story that was told about some individuals that went out to climb a mountain. And one of them failed. He got really broke up and everything. The other guy kept on going. And so he kept going on. So then it got cold up on that mountain, and it was dark and cold. And he's climbing, he flew around. And coming down, he fell. He fell, and he grabbed hold to a branch. And he's holding on to that branch. And so as he's holding on to that branch, the voice says, "Why don't you let it go? Let it go." And the guy, he was afraid. Oh, I don't know, I might fall to my death, maybe 300 or 400 feet. I might fall to my death. So he held there on that branch. He stood there. And they found him the next morning holding on to that branch, frozen to death. And the thing that was so intriguing about that, the thing that was had he just let it go, just drop, he was no more than 2 feet from the ground. See, but he was afraid. He was afraid to let go. See, sometimes you're going to have to really just trust in God, man. Trust God. If he tell you let it go, let it go. See, but you have people that are afraid. Well, I don't know. Hey, if I can't see it, I'm not going to do it. You understand? And so that was the scenario where this particular individual refused to let it go. Let it go. He could have been living, but he flew around and held on and froze to death. Why? Because he was afraid. He's afraid. You've seen relationships where individuals get caught up in a relationship. Case in point, here's a young man. He's talking to this young lady, and he tells her how much he loves her and everything, but he never carries her out. He never carries her to any decent restaurant. He never carries. Just always coming. I love you, everything, but he never carries her out. The thing that's so intriguing about that is that people will tell you one thing, but they will show you something else. They will tell you one thing, but they will show you something else. See, he told her he loved her, but he showed her that he did not respect her. He didn't want to be seen with her. If a man is calling a young lady and he doesn't want to be seen, he won't carry her out nowhere, won't take her nowhere decent to a nice restaurant or something, dear heart, it's time for you to let that go. You don't need to waste your time in that particular type of relationship because it's not going anywhere. It's not going to be beneficial to you. No matter, don't get caught in those lies that he's telling because he's not going to do anything. I've seen young ladies say that they were talking to individuals and they've been going about 6 or 7 years and they hadn't got married yet. Well, hey, dear heart, it's time you to smell the roses. It's time you let that go. You know, he ain't going to marry you. If he's going to marry you, it don't take no 6 years for no man to marry a woman. Open your mind, my friends. Let stuff like that go. You don't need to be holding yourself in bondage over something like that. Mr. Right out there is waiting on you, and you something to waste your time with somebody that's not going to do anything good for you. So it's good to let things like that go. There was a story that was told about this particular king. He had a kingdom, and he had 30,000 men in his army. He had 30,000 men in his army. And so there was another king that came up against him. He was going to overrun him. He had 300,000 men. And so this king said, wow, 30,000, ain't nothing we do with 300,000 men. We don't have 30,000. And so the king was really worried. He said, I guess I just have to give up. But I don't want to give up. So he ends up that the word gets around to this particular month. He said, well, I don't have anybody to lead my army. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid of this. And so the monk said, I'll lead your army. King said, you don't know nothing about no fight. You never held a sword. You don't know anything about fighting. He said, yeah. He said, well, I'll lead your army. He said, let me try it. The king said, okay. So the king let him go. So this monk goes in and he's talking to her. And so the monk tells the king, said, okay, give him the army. So he takes the army, and so they go. He said, first we're going to stop by the temple. So he stops by the temple, and he goes in there, and he comes back out. He said, let me pray to God. So he goes by in there, and they pray, and then he comes back out, and the monk comes back out, and he says, God's going to grant this thing to I have a corn. And he said, now, if this corn, this is a special corn, if this corn, I'm going to flip it in there. If this corn falls down and it doesn't, fall on the ground, but stays straight up, he says, God's going to give us the victory. And so everybody, and the king flipped it, and the monk flipped the corn up in the air, and the corn fell out and stood straight up. And he jumped up, we got it, God's giving it to us. And everybody got excited. They all got excited. The next thing you know, and so these guys, they ready to go in the war. They got into this particular war, 30,000 men, and they defeat 300,000. Now, the moral of the story was, so when they came back, they were celebrating. They said, we thank God for the victory, and we thank God for doing this for us. And so the monk said, he said, actually, that corn was kind of like fixed and everything. He said, you won that because you believed that you could. He said, you won that because you believed that you could. See, it's amazing how strong you are. It's amazing how powerful you are just because of your belief. So that's why we say it's good for you to know how to let things go. See, you can move forward and go on and do what you need to be doing, but you're afraid. But when you get to that point, you say, I'm going to let this go. I'm going to move forward. I'm not going to be holding myself back. See, then you, my friend, will go on and move into a bigger and better thing. Why? Because you have the power. You're not some wretch. You're not a weak thing. So you're going to have to let go of a lot of those things that you've been told that you were inferior, that you're not good. You have to let all that stuff go. Let it go. You can do whatever you want to do, my friend. You can. Why? Because God didn't make no job. And God's in you. He's not up in the sky around. How do you think you exist, my friend? The Creator is in you. That's right. Greater is He that is in you than he that is what? In the world. So you got to let go of a lot of things that you're holding on to that's not beneficial to you. Let that stuff go, my friend, and move on to a bigger and better life. Things are going to get better for you. Why? Because you are somebody. Until next time, this is Brother Charles with Enrich Lives. May love, joy, peace, and happiness forever be with you as you walk upon this good earth that God has given us. And you, my friend, give us a thumb up on this particular show. And remember, let whatever it is that's holding you back, let it go and move on. Until next time, you be blessed, my friend. And thank you for tuning in.